80 AD. The Flavian Amphitheater, what we call the Colosseum, has just opened. 50,000 Romans are packed into the stands for the inaugural games. Gladiators fight below. Lions roar in the hypogeum. Emperor Titus watches from the imperial box, draped in purple, untouchable. And then a buzzing. Faint at first. Like an insect. But growing louder. And coming from above. A gray object, no larger than a dinner plate, hovers above the arena. Four spinning blades hold it aloft. A single red light blinks on its underside. It moves with a precision that no bird possesses, stopping, turning, ascending, all without wings. 50,000 Romans stare upward in silence. The gladiators stop fighting. Even the lions go quiet. Emperor Titus rises from his marble throne. He does not flinch. He is a military commander who sacked Jerusalem. He does not fear a flying plate. But he does recognize an omen when he sees one. He raises his hand and declares, in a voice that carries across the amphitheater, Jupiter sends his eye to witness the glory of Rome. The crowd erupts. The drone hovers for 47 minutes. Its battery life, fully charged, is exactly that. During those 47 minutes, it records everything. The architecture. The crowd. The blood on the sand. The expressions on 50,000 faces. None of them know they are being watched by a camera. They are the first humans ever surveilled from the air. And they are cheering. When the battery dies, the drone drops like a stone. It crashes into the sand of the arena floor. A gladiator nearly catches it on his shield. The crowd gasps. Then the Praetorian Guard surrounds it. No one is allowed to touch it. It is carried to the imperial palace on a silk cushion. Jupiter's eye has closed. Now it belongs to Caesar. Within a week, Rome's finest engineers have the drone on a marble slab in the imperial workshop. They cannot fly it. They cannot charge it. But they can take it apart. And Romans are very, very good at taking things apart. They remove the propellers first. Then the casing. Then, the camera module. A glass eye smaller than a denarius that somehow captured the world. They cannot replicate the electronics. The microchips are beyond them by 18 centuries. But the optics, the lens, the principles of light capture, those they can understand. Within a year, Roman glassmakers produced the first crude lenses based on the drone's camera. Not for flying. For watching. From towers. From walls. From every high point in the city. Titus orders the construction of what he calls the oculi Jovis, the eyes of Jupiter. Tall stone towers, each equipped with a polished glass lens and a trained observer. The first three are built overlooking the Forum. Then the Senate. Then the harbor at Ostia. Then every major road into Rome. By the end of the decade, there are 47 towers. One for every minute the drone flew. Crime drops. Conspiracy drops. Senate plots, the kind that killed Julius Caesar, become impossible. Every public space in Rome is watched. The observers report to a new branch of the Praetorian Guard called the Custodes Oculorum, the keepers of the eyes. They answer only to the emperor. And the emperor sees everything. But surveillance is a machine that only grows. Titus's successor, Domitian, expands the network to every province. Road checkpoints. Harbor inspections. Lens-equipped watchtowers along the entire Rhine frontier. The Germanic tribes that would one day sack Rome are spotted, tracked, and intercepted decades before they can mass. The barbarian invasions never happen. Rome does not fall. By 200 AD, the oculi Jovis number over 6,000. Every city in the empire has them. Citizens learn to live under the glass eyes. Children grow up never knowing privacy. The word for alone in Latin, solus, gradually acquires a second meaning, suspicious. To be alone is to be hiding something. To be hiding something is to be an enemy of Rome. Christianity, which in our timeline grew in the shadows of a crumbling empire, never gains a foothold. The secret meetings are spotted from the towers. The underground churches are found within days. Paul's letters are intercepted. Peter is arrested not by a corrupt local governor, but by the custodes, who watched him preach from 300 meters away through polished glass. Without Christianity, there is no church. Without the church, there is no preservation of knowledge during the Dark Ages, because the Dark Ages never come. Rome endures. But what endures is not the Rome of philosophy and engineering. It is the Rome of the oculi. The Rome that watches. The Rome where every street, every home, every conversation exists under glass. By 1000 AD, the date that in our timeline falls in the middle of medieval chaos, the Roman Empire stretches from Britain to India. No internal rebellion has succeeded in 9 centuries. No external invasion has breached the frontier. The Pax Romana is not a golden age. It is a prison sentence measured in millennia. The Renaissance does not happen. There is nothing to be reborn from. Art exists, but only state-approved art. Science advances, but only in directions the emperor sanctions. Philosophy is permitted as long as it concludes that the emperor is divine. Free thought is not banned. It is simply observed. And observed thought is never truly free. The Industrial Revolution occurs but 2 centuries later than in our timeline, and under imperial control. Steam engines power the watchtowers. Telegraph wires connect the oculi network. Photography, when invented, is immediately classified as a state technology. The camera, the descendant of that drone's tiny eye, becomes the exclusive property of the surveillance apparatus. Citizens are forbidden to own one. By 2000 AD, 2000 years after the drone fell into the Colosseum, the Roman Empire is the only political entity on Earth. Every human being is a citizen. Every citizen is watched. Language, culture, religion all homogenized under Latin and the imperial cult. There are no nations, no borders, no wars, and no freedom. Peace, it turns out, was never the opposite of tyranny. It was its final form. In the Central Museum of Roma Aeterna, behind glass 3 inches thick, sits the original drone. Reassembled. Polished. Lit from above like the Ark of the Covenant. School children visit it every year. They are told it is a gift from Jupiter. A blessing that saved civilization. They recite the imperial catechism: to be seen is to be safe. To be watched is to be loved. None of them know about the 47 minutes. The original recording. The footage the drone captured before it fell: 50,000 cheering Romans, blood on sand, an emperor who saw a machine and imagined a god. That footage is sealed in the imperial vault. Classified for 2,000 years. Because if the citizens ever saw a world where the sky was empty and no one was watching, they might remember what it felt like to look up and see nothing. And that is the cruelest part. Rome didn't fall because someone gave it the power to watch. Rome survived. Rome thrived. Rome conquered the world. Everything we lost in the Dark Ages, the knowledge, the infrastructure, the continuity, was preserved. But what was also preserved was the gaze. The unblinking, unquestioning, 2,000-year gaze of an empire that learned the only lesson the drone had to teach. If you can see everything, you can control everything. And if you can control everything, you never have to stop. The drone flew for 47 minutes. The empire it built has flown for 2,000 years. And it will never, ever land. Chrono drop.